So here we have the completed scene, and this has all the final modeling and texturing using the same techniques that I've already gone over on this DVD. And I've also added a few extra things in here, like the plants, which came from Onyx actually. I didn't take the time to model them myself, which we could have done, but it's actually a lot faster, especially in a production environment, to just use pre-built models for things like trees and plants. Um, some of the other things I've added was there's little stones right along this edge here, and this is something. And it's got the same sort of texture that we have on the stones on this pathway. Another thing I did was I put some leaves floating on the water here, and I did that using this advanced painter script. Hold on while it saves here. But what I was doing is I modeled just one leaf. It's just a card, just a flat piece of geometry. And what the advanced painter script does is it allows you to uh, add objects in a selection in here, and then you can select an object like the water surface, and actually just wherever you click, you're painting these objects onto that surface. So, I mean, I just went in and I sprinkled some along this edge, like maybe the wind had been blowing all the leaves this way and they're starting to collect along this edge. So let me give you just kind of a tour of the scene so that you can see everything that I did that wasn't recorded. There really wasn't anything too interesting, so that's why it wasn't recorded. But for instance, here's the windows, and actually you can't really see them too good. Let me change the lighting here. It's just the black parts of the glass and the frames. I mean, there's really no detail in there. They're very flat. And speaking of no detail, for the doors down here, these are just flat. I just used a photo of a door and painted a little bump map to go with it. Um, Here's these roof pieces. Nothing special. It's just boxes, and cut some of the edges around. So there's really nothing fancy in here that you missed. Down here I added just some busted up stones and pieces of concrete. Here's those plants. Here's some of those rocks that I sprinkled in. I've got these signs on the wall, and I mean these are just boxes and extrude and bevel, very simple stuff. Same with these little stools. So that's really all that you missed, and any object that I didn't actually unwrap was just box mapped. I didn't use any fancy mapping of any kind except for on the major pieces of architecture. Tiling around here, and I've just made sure that you don't ever see the seams from either of the two cameras in our scene. So after you render it all out, this is what you get, and this is the render just straight out of Max. And I took this and rendered out a few passes and took it into Digital Fusion, and after adjusting some things I ended up with this. So once again, here's before and here's after. So with that, I think we've reached the end of this DVD. I hope that you learned something, and we'll be able to take some of the techniques here and apply them to your future projects. In the next DVD in this series, we're going to be going over lighting and compositing, how to render passes out of 3D Studio and composite them in Digital Fusion. We'll be looking at how to create different lighting conditions, different times of day, sort of atmospheric conditions, just all sorts of good stuff. So I hope you check it out, and I hope you enjoyed this DVD. Thanks for watching.